Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about wedding coordinators versus venue coordinators, which are two different things. So if you don't know what that is, then this is the video for you. Let's get into it. So to start off, we're going to be talking about venue coordinators. Granted, I am not a venue coordinator, so I don't know specifically what the ins and outs of their job title role is, but I guess that's different for every single company that has a venue coordinator. They might have different job responsibilities. So what I'm about to tell you is a general sense. It's not necessarily black and white, but they are different roles, and I'm going to explain the different roles to you. So venue coordinators are hired by the venue and they are paid by the venue. That means they look after everything that the venue does, whether that's your wedding date, what food you're serving at your wedding, how many guests are going to be there, how big the room is going to be, all that kind of stuff. So everything that you need to deal with in terms of the venue goes to your venue coordinator. Your wedding coordinator is someone who deals with your wedding. So what that might look like on your wedding day is if you have guests that are running late, that are really important guests that you really want, to see you walk down the aisle. Then the wedding coordinator would communicate that with the officiant, with the band members, with the photographer, with everybody, and let them know that we're just going to wait a couple of minutes just because we're not ready yet, or something like that, and hold everybody up to make sure that this special person actually gets to the ceremony before anybody else does. And then we can start the ceremony with the bride, so nobody misses out on anything. Which I can definitely say means something, because my mother-in-law at my own wedding, when I didn't have a wedding coordinator, was late. Which is really important because I think she should have been there at the beginning instead of seeing me halfway down the aisle as she came. So, important things wedding coordinators do. So if you have problems with drunk guests who are, walking off and getting lost in the party, then your wedding coordinator can deal with that. If anything goes wrong at your wedding, you talk to your wedding coordinator. If anything goes wrong at your venue, in terms of what the venue should be supplying to you and what you are not getting or something like that, then it goes to the venue coordinator. There are some tasks that venue coordinators and wedding coordinators kind of do that are the same. So venue coordinators actually bring out run sheets. It's a template for all their couples and they just kind of fill it in, and that's not necessarily a good reflection of what the wedding could actually be. And that's where your wedding coordinator comes in, because they actually write the timeline for you from scratch, and it's about exactly what you guys want. So if you're running half an hour late and you've only got half an hour for dancing time, then your wedding coordinator will fiddle with the timeline a little bit and with the run sheet and try and tweak it here and there so that we still get maximum dancing time, but you haven't given up on everything else. Whereas with your venue coordinator, they don't touch the timeline after you send it to them. You don't get dancing time. You just don't get it. Things like that. We find solutions to those kinds of problems that are not necessarily the venue coordinator's job. One also really important thing that kind of crossovers that kind of doesn't is fluffing your dress or your veil as you walk down the aisle. That is something a wedding coordinator does that not necessarily anybody else can do. So your bridesmaids are walking ahead of you, so they can't do it. Your mums and aunts and grandmas and stuff like that, they're sitting at the ceremony waiting for you to come down, and you definitely don't want them to miss that. So they're sitting up there, and you could get a friend, but at the same time, they're here to see you get married. They kind of want to be at the ceremony and have that moment with you, right? So that's usually a wedding coordinator's job. It also is a wedding coordinator's job to make sure that you look your best for walking down the aisle, or actually for any point in time. Like if you've got food stuck in your teeth, or your lipstick's kind of rubbed up wrong, or if your hair's a little bit like this, we fix it for you. So you don't have to deal with that. We're always looking out for those little kinds of things that your venue coordinator doesn't do. And that's just because your venue coordinator is there to work for the venue. That's their sole job. Some venue coordinators I have seen actually go ahead and help that way, actually, fluff you up and make sure that the veil looks really, really lovely as you walk down the aisle. But again, that's not their job. That's just them being really, really lovely and sweet and beautiful and a kind human being. But I'm pretty sure that's not part of their job description at all. We also find new vendors. If any of your vendors have cancelled on the wedding day and you start frantically going, oh my goodness, what to do? That's what we're there for, to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And if it does go wrong, then we've planned for it and we can enact a solution so that you don't have to worry about it. Some venue coordinators aren't even there on your wedding day. They're not on site. And that's just part of their job. They're not supposed to be there. They don't have to be there. If you have extra money, I would highly suggest hiring a wedding coordinator. It takes all the stress off you and off you planning your wedding and making sure that it runs smoothly. And you can just throw everything at your coordinator and be like, just deal with it. You've got this. So does that make sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments below. I'll read it and I'll get back to you on it. Other than that, if you like my videos, please give it a thumbs up and please also subscribe. I like to do more videos, especially in the times we're doing it right now where we have time to actually do videos and watch videos. So I think that's it. I'll catch you guys in the next one.